Well, hello, beautiful, amazing, creative individual. Yes, I am talking to you. If you found this video, then it means that you have an interest in making art. And that's what we're going to be doing today. I'll be guiding you on how to create a beautiful painting using very simple and easy to follow steps. But before we begin our masterpieces, let's go over the supplies that you're going to be needing for today's painting. All right, so you're going to need a canvas. And it doesn't really have to be a specific size, but we do want it to be longer up and down rather than horizontal or landscape. We're working in a portrait style today. Even though we're making a landscape, we're still working up and down portrait format. Okay, so it could be 11 by 14 or it can be a 12 by 16. Whatever you have, it's totally fine. This is your painting. Have fun with it. Use what you have. All right. Next, we're going to be needing a cup of water for our paintbrushes, which we have two. We have a 1-inch flat. You can also use a 1/2-inch flat. And then we have a smaller little round brush. You can also use a liner brush if you have that instead. Just a little brush for detailing. You're also going to need some paper towels or napkins and a paint palette. I am using a plate today. You can also use a plate if you don't have one of the little plastic palettes. You don't need to spend a lot of money on this, okay? And then finally, we're going to need our colors. We are going to be working with our 3 primary colors today, plus black and white. And that's it. That's all you need to make a beautiful painting. Now, there is one more thing that would be helpful if you have it lying around your house. Now, you don't need this to do the painting, okay? It's not a requirement. You just need to find something round that you don't mind getting paint on, like a cap. It can be a cap from a milk jug, a water bottle, a bottle of soda, shampoo, olive oil, literally anything round that you don't mind getting paint on. Okay, again, it's not a requirement, but I'm going to be showing you a really neat little trick later on with that round cap. Now, you can pick up these supplies at any craft store. However, if you don't have time to search for these items or are still feeling a little unsure of what and where to buy, that's okay, because I've done all the hard work for you. Now, I am launching a paint kit on my website. Now, this kit has everything you need to make this painting today, and the kits are on pre-order right now. More information in the description down below. So are you ready to jump in and make some art? Then let's get painting. First thing I need you to be mindful of is that these are acrylics, okay? They can stain your clothes. So please roll up your sleeves or go change your shirt. Okay, if you get it on your clothes, there's pretty much a 99% guaranteed that they will get stained forever. Now, it doesn't matter if it gets on your hands. These wash out with warm soap and water. Also, rubbing alcohol, alcohol swabs, or an alcohol-based hand sanitizer will dissolve the paint right off your skin. Okay, so take a deep breath. You're gonna be just fine, all right? Super easy steps here. We're gonna be painting with this big brush for the majority of the painting, all right? And this one's gonna come in handy a little later. But for right now, let's get our paints out. It doesn't matter where you put them on your palette. Doesn't matter the order at all. So go ahead and take your paints out and put a little bit in each location. Don't use too much at a time, right? Because then you'll run out of room, and they can also dry. And we want our paints to last. So if you have the little bottles, don't squirt a lot out. Just a quarter's worth is really all you need. So I'm gonna get my paints out. Ta-da! Now, we're gonna be doing a landscape today. And how you approach a landscape is usually always the same. You paint the farthest thing away first, and you work your way forward, okay? So the farthest thing is always the sky. So today we're gonna be putting the sky in first, which is going to include a little sunset. And then we'll be layering in our colors for the water and then the beach. And then we'll be putting the landmass in with the trees and then finishing up the beach. That's it. That's how you do it today. All right, you guys excited? Let's jump right in. So take your big brush, get it wet. Little bit of water, tap it off. You don't want it super wet, you don't want it dripping. And then I'm gonna go into yellow, okay? I'm gonna make a light yellowy orange color, and I'm gonna find my horizon line. So I'm gonna take my paint palette here, and I'm gonna scoop a big chunk of yellow somewhere else in the palette because we're making a new color. I'm gonna take it and put it next to the red and take some of that red and mix that together. and just mix it up with your brush. Now I want you to be careful not to overload your brush, meaning getting paint all the way up here, right? And it just gets all gloopy and messy. That's not gonna help you at all. You wanna kind of make sure that your paint stays towards the end of the bristles. And if it starts creeping up on you, just wipe it off, all right? So don't overload your brushes, that's very important. Now, if you'd like a flatter edge on your big brush, all you have to do is press it on each side and sort of wipe. Okay, press and wipe. It creates a nice sharp edge. And we're going to be using this nice sharp thin side of the brush to make our horizon line. So we're going to find the middle point of our canvas using this little edge here. And you're going to put that down and make a line horizontally across your canvas. Okay, this is going to determine where your sky is and where your water begins, right? So about halfway. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be exact, okay? Just like that. Just a little line. And then with the color that you have left on your brush, go ahead and just wipe that off and blend it up into the sky a little bit. Okay, I'm using that orangey color and just blending it back and forth. You can use the fat side of your brush, or you can rotate it and use that thin side again. And just brush it up into the sky a little. Now I'm going to take more of that color and I'm going to keep swiping it horizontally into my sky, sort of randomly, okay? You don't want to sit there and cover the whole canvas with this color because we're going to blend in yellow too. We're going to start mixing pinks together, okay? So I'm just sort of blending it all over and leaving a little space. Leave a little bit of white because we can put yellow in there. It'll look really pretty. Okay, I'm going to go up about 4 to 5 inches, no more than that, because I want to start turning this pink up here and a little blue up here in this corner. So don't go too high up. Okay, so once you have that blended in, I'm going to go ahead and take more yellow now, big scoop of yellow, and mix it sort of near that color we just had to make a softer version of that color. Okay, so a softer, lighter orangey color. Just like that. Okay, and remember to wipe off your brush a little if you have to get the paint down towards the end of your bristles. We're going to take this color and we're going to swipe this in now. And we're going to kind of fill in those gaps that we left. And go ahead and fill the center in as well. Keep swiping. And it's okay to overlap your colors. That's totally fine. There we go. Just keep blending that in a little. I'm going to take more of that color. Make sure you get the sides of your canvas and come off of your canvas completely. We want to cover up this white. We don't want to see that white, okay? We don't want to leave that canvas showing through our color. Just like that. Now I'm going to streak up a little bit more of that soft orangey color up into the sky, a little higher. Just a little bit in the middle. Maybe I'll do a little swipe right there. Just like that. Okay, so I've still left almost about 50% of the top of the canvas exposed. There's a little orange up there, but not much. Now I want you to go ahead and take your big brush. We're going to deepen the color a little bit. We're going to take red, mix it into that orangey color that we made earlier. I haven't washed my brush yet, okay? We're just going to make a deeper red, deeper orange color, and we're going to streak this in just a little of this color. Okay, so I'm going to use that thin side of the big brush, hold it down, horizontal strokes, just a little up here. Give it a little bit of color. Okay. Now you can streak it in wherever you'd like. That's totally fine. Then I am going to wash my brush. So when you wash your brush, you take your brush, put it all the way in the bottom of your cup of water and scrub the bristles clean. Scrub, scrub, scrub. When you pull it out, I want you to wipe it on your towel to make sure you got the color off. Okay, and it should be pretty clean. Then I'm going to go ahead and go into pure yellow, just a little on the edge there of my brush, and streak this in a little bit more over here. And just start filling in some of the gaps, just a little bit more. Again, don't go too high. You want to leave about 3 to 4 inches from the top. That's going to be pink and a little purple and a little blue over here. So again, a little bit of yellow. And streak this in just a little. Just a little brightness here. Okay, you can also streak it in a little lower if you want, like maybe right here. Maybe right here. Just brighten it up a little if it's too dark. That's totally fine. Okay, but we're still using those horizontal strokes. Same technique, horizontal strokes. You can layer in your colors. It looks really pretty when you start layering them in. So go over some of your colors, just a little. Now I need you to wash your brush again because we are going into pink. And pink is white with red. It's a white base, meaning that you start with white first, a lot of it, and you gradually add in the red until you like the color that you get. So let's take a moment, let's clean our brushes again, scrub them all the way at the bottom of your cup, wipe them off, and then I'm going to take a big scoop of white, put that somewhere on my paint palette, and a little scoop of red, a little in the corner of the brush, okay? Doesn't have to be a lot, and we're just going to see what color we get. Now we can adjust, we can add more red if we want, or more white. I'm going to go a little bit brighter here, so another little scoop, and that should be plenty. Yeah, that is plenty. Okay, now we're going to start swiping this in. So I'm going to start swiping maybe in the red area over here, just a little. Not a lot of pressure now. I'm just sort of grazing over the canvas with the brush. Just a little horizontal strokes, gentle swiping, not too much pressure. Oh my goodness, my kitty has something to say about this. Now I'm going to start bringing it over a little. Starting to go up just a little. Still leave about 2 inches, 2 to 3 inches from the top, okay? And then let's start over here on the left side and continue to swipe in some of that pink. You could drop it down into that yellow a little. Again, it's okay that they mix, right? It's okay. Go a little higher, touch that yellow a little, come out a little. Make sure you go to the edge of your canvas, go up, gentle streaks, and you could just start sort of wiping off your brush at this point up here. Okay, we'll layer in purple over that area. It'll look really pretty, but you can go ahead and just sort of clean your brush off on the canvas at this point. Okay, now I'm going to take that pink color and I'm going to add a drop of blue. Blue's going to overpower this a lot, okay? So just a little drop will go a long way and we'll make sort of a purpley color here, a very light purple color. Load up my brush and just streak this in the upper left corner, horizontal strokes. You can use the fat side, which is what I'm doing right now. Drag it out a little. You can use the thin side to give it smaller streaks. If you are having a hard time mixing your colors, all you have to do to get them to blend a little bit more is add a little bit more moisture to your brush. Not a lot, just a tiny drop, okay? And that'll really help. I'm gonna blend it in a little here, maybe a little down here, maybe a little on the right. Just a little. Just sort of clean off my brush now. Wipe that brush off. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I haven't washed my brush. It's pretty much clean, right? But you can wash it if you'd like. You can wipe it off. I'm just leaving a little bit of that pigment on there, the purpley pigment. That's fine. Then I'm going to take a moderate sized scoop of blue because we don't have much left to paint. We don't need a lot. And then a little scoop of white. And mix that together to get a little bit lighter blue. Not super light, but just a little bit lighter. Okay, we don't need a lot of paint here. And I'm going to finish streaking in this color into the sky. So you can do the thin side of your brush or the thick side here, and just sort of drag it out. Okay, so you can kind of start cleaning off your brush now on your canvas and just drag out the color. See how it looks like it's blending now? Because I'm just dragging out the color, cleaning my brush on the canvas. I'm working this pigment into the canvas. Make sure you get the edges. Always paint your edges, okay? They're just as important as the front. And just like that, we've created a beautiful sunset. Now we still need to put the sun in, but I don't want you guys to do that yet until it dries, okay? The sun's gonna be about here. We'll do that in a minute, but first let's go ahead and just start working on the water. So we need to make our water line. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a really dark purpley color. So I'm gonna take a lot more blue. I haven't cleaned my brush since using it on the canvas with the blue in the corner here. There's no need, okay? So I'm gonna take a big scoop of blue and a smaller scoop of red and mix that together. Okay, so that's a pretty nice color. We can go a little darker. I'm gonna add a little bit more red. That's good. Now see, my brush is getting a little bit loaded, so I'm gonna clean it off with the side of my plate, your palette, wherever you want. Just clean it off and then dip the tip back into the color. You want a nice shape because we're gonna use the thin side of your big brush again, and we're gonna start putting this water line in, okay? Now, it's okay if it turns out a little big at first. We're gonna blend the colors down, sort of like what we did up here, but we're gonna be using different colors. Okay, we're gonna be using blues and purples, and then we'll use some of these sunset colors in the middle. But I want you to draw your horizontal line. This is gonna be your water line. Okay, it's right under that line that we put at the beginning. Now, if you have to rotate your canvas, if that's more comfortable for you, you can do that. Okay, if you wanna turn it at an angle, that's totally fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and just drop this line in. Straight across. Just like that. That's going to be our water. Okay, now if you have some color still left on your brush, let's go ahead and just clean off the brush on the canvas. Let's use that thin side of your big brush, right? Doing horizontal streaks on the right hand side. So let's focus more on the right hand side. And just lightly streak the paint off of your brush and onto the canvas, okay? Kind of just get it cleaned off there. You can drag it down a good 3 inches. That's totally fine. This way you're not wasting any of your paint. Okay, and then we could finish cleaning our brushes by dipping them in the cup of water and scrubbing them on the bottom. Now you can go change your water whenever you need to. Okay, it's totally fine. Once your water starts getting kind of muddy, you probably want to change it. Okay, so mine's a little muddy, so I'm going to wipe off my brush and I'm going to go ahead and change my water. Clean water. Okay, so let's see if our sky is dry. Go ahead and touch it with your finger. So mine does feel dry. All right, it is dry. Now let's go ahead and use the cap. If you don't have a cap, that's okay. You're just going to use the little liner brush and do a little circle, but we are putting that sun in, and so I want you all to take your little caps. Okay, I'm going to take my little cap and I'm going to paint the rim of the underside of the cap, not the top flat part. We don't want to do that. We want to flip it around the underside. So the little part that has the rim on it here, we're going to paint that with white. Just a little. You don't have to glop on the white, okay? So I'm going to take my little brush, because we're going to use that next. And I'm going to go into pure white and just load up my brush like this. That's plenty of paint, okay? And we're going to paint the rim all the way around. Doesn't have to be perfect. We just need to be able to kind of see the shape. So we just want a little bit of paint all the way around the rim. Just like that. And then you're gonna figure out where your sun's gonna go, and you're gonna use this as a stamp and just stamp it down. Mine's gonna be in the middle, and I'm gonna make it kind of low towards that water line, maybe 1/4 inch from it. So about 1/4 inch above the water line. I'm gonna pick a spot, press down. You can give it a gentle little twist if you'd like, and lift up, and there's my perfect little circle. Then I'm gonna take my little brush and just fill that in. And again, don't be afraid to rotate your canvas. So I'm gonna put white on my little brush and just start filling it in. Now, if your paints are not covering very well, means they're not very opaque. It means that you're gonna have to let them thoroughly dry and just do it again, okay? If you put wet paints over semi-dried paints, that wet layer that you just put down will actually lift up the paint. So you don't wanna just keep adding and adding and adding in hopes that it will cover it up, because it won't. It will make it worse. So let it dry. These dry very, very quickly. It does not take long, okay? So just take a 5 to 10 minute break is all you really need to let it dry. I'm gonna go ahead and rotate my canvas so I can get a better angle and get right up to that line. Now, if you don't have a little round cap to use, that is totally fine. You're just gonna paint a little circle about the size of 1/4. Okay, it could be smaller or it could be bigger. It's up to you. It's your painting, right? You do whatever it is you want to do. Whatever makes you happy. Mine's about 1 inch. It might be a smidge bigger than 1 inch. Just painting that white. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day today. It is not raining here in the Pacific Northwest, which is really nice. And the birds are chirping. It's a little cold out, but that's okay. It's not raining. It's not dark. I'll take it. It'll be summer soon. So there's my sun. That wasn't so hard, right? Okay, so let's get started on this water here, shall we? Now we're gonna start streaking in colors, doing horizontal strokes, okay? But we're only gonna go about 3 to 4 inches down horizontal, and then we're gonna start shifting our hand a little and start going at an angle, okay? Because this is gonna be the beach down here, and so the waves kind of do this, and then it sort of flattens out a little up here. So we're gonna go back to that big brush, and we're gonna go into our light blue. So I'm gonna get my brush wet, tap it off. I'm sorry, we're going into bright blue. Just take the pure blue that's there, okay? Get a little on your brush and streak some of that over the purpley color that you made earlier, just a little. Just a little. Okay, bring it out a little bit more. And then, like I said, 3 to 4 inches down is where we're gonna start getting a little angle here. So what you can do is we can start angling it just a little. So go 4 inches down, 3 to 4 inches down, and start gentle angle, okay? You're not doing a harsh angle towards the sun. It's very gentle angle and come across, okay? It should meet about 1 inch from this side over here, the left side. So you can go ahead and draw the line all the way across to help you if that works better. So about 1 inch, that's the angle that we want, okay? Now go ahead and just streak this blue in on the right side, fill it up, okay? And then you could do a little over here on the left. We're not too concerned about this area though, okay? Because there's an island that's gonna go there. But we can streak in a little bit of blue to cover it up. Mostly horizontal here, okay? Just like that. And then I'm gonna take a little bit more blue on my big brush. Make sure that you have a nice edge to it. So wipe it on each side. Make sure you get your edge back. Nice thin side, right? And then we're gonna put another line about 1 inch down from this one. Start over here, and again, kind of continue. And it's gonna actually get closer now. It's closer on the left side. So it's 1/4 of an inch to the first line. So 1 inch down on the right from the line we just put in, and it goes up and it meets that line, but it's only 1/4 of an inch apart. Okay, now you could do it one more time if you want. We can go down about 1 inch, right? And go up, and you're almost gonna touch it. So go up like that. Now, these don't have to be beautiful solid lines. See how mine's streaky? That's totally fine. This is just about placement. That's all. That's all we're doing right now. Okay? Totally fine. Now, let's go ahead and make that dark blue again. So let's take blue. Remember we added red and it made this really nice dark purple. Let's actually make a dark blue. Let's go in and make a dark blue. So I'm going to take a big scoop of blue. I'm going to add a drop of black, like a grain of rice. This is very important, okay? People overdo the black all the time. Black is the strongest color. 1 drop changes everything dramatically, okay? So take the corner of your big brush, give it a little dip. See how little that is? It's like a grain of rice. Okay, you're gonna add that into the blue. You can always add more. It's harder to undo, so just add a little at a time and see how you like it. Now that's a pretty nice darker blue. I want it a little darker, so I'm gonna add a tiny drop more, just a tiny bit. Okay, don't add too much. If you add too much, clean your brush and just start again. Don't try to keep adding more blue. That's not gonna work. It's just gonna make a mess. Don't do that. Okay, so this is super dark blue, super, super dark. So I'm gonna clean off my brush, both sides. We just want a little bit of paint. I didn't even bother dipping it back in, so just clean it off. Just a little bit of paint is all you want, okay? We're gonna streak this in just a little here and there. So I'm gonna go to the last line we did, streak it in right there. A little bit of darkness, it's really dark, right? Go over to the left side and streak it down. Just a little, just a few inches, like 3 to 4 inches. Okay, maybe a little bit more back here. Okay, now I'm gonna start streaking it down here. This is gonna be the beach. So the sand is actually dry, not wet, so it's gonna be dark. The wet sand is always lighter, okay? So this is our last wave. So this will be wet sand here. So then this area down here is dry sand. I'm taking my big brush and I'm just gently streaking in this dark color. The lower left area, not a lot of paint, just streaking it off. Add an angle, okay? You can get a little bit more if you need to. And streak it down, come out to the right a little. That's about it. We're leaving a little space here. That's gonna be wet sand, okay? This is wet sand, this is a wave, that's a wave, and then it sort of starts flattening out here. So let's go ahead and streak in this really dark blue, super dark blue, okay? Just a little like this. Leave a little bit of space like we did in the sky. Leave a little space because we can go into slightly lighter blue. Okay, that's okay. If you leave space, it'll look pretty. Trust me, we're layering in our colors today. Now I haven't cleaned my brush, but I'm just gonna go ahead and go into pure blue, okay? And just sort of mix that color into my brush. I haven't cleaned it, it's still got that dark color on it. I'm just mixing the pigment I had already with the pure blue I just took, okay? And again, I'm leaving this area exposed. This is gonna be wet sand, okay? But I'm gonna start streaking this color in down here at the same angle with the big brush and just fill in some of those gaps. It's okay to have them touch, have them overlap a little. That's totally fine. Streaking it in, just like this. And see how we're pushing some of that dark blue away now? But you can still see that there's a lot of dark blue there. It's a lot of shadow. Just like that. Trying to cover up my white here. Okay. Now this area, let's go ahead and put a little bit of purple there. Go ahead and clean your brush. We want the black off. We don't want the black touching that purple color anymore, okay? So if you have that dark purple color, go ahead and take that and let's make it a little lighter, just a little bit. So I'm taking that dark purple color. I'm gonna move it over here. I think this was for the sky, this purple color. Okay, so I'm taking the dark purple that we used right here, and I'm putting it in the spot where we had this purple from the sky. And then I'm gonna add just the tiniest bit of white on the corner of my brush, grain of rice, okay? I'm just gonna lighten it a little. Lightening it up just a little. Okay, just like that. And we're gonna go ahead and streak this in just right here. Okay, just sort of in here, maybe a little in here, not too much. Gonna go at that angle that's following this sand here, right? And streak this in. Come up a little. Streak it in just a little there. And yes, I want to get this part here. I'm going to load up what paint I have left of that color and just finish coloring this in. Just like this. And if you have any paint left on your brush, you can go ahead and streak that in right through here, okay? Right through here. Just a little there. Now go ahead and clean your brush. If you have any thoughts, concerns, or questions, please ask them down below. I am happy to answer any questions that you may have. If you are struggling with any part of this painting, I am happy to answer questions. You can send me a message and include an image if you'd like via my email address, which you can find in the link down below. You can contact me that way. You can tag me on Instagram. Show me what you've created. I would love to see it. So now we need to start streaking in a little bit of pinks, right? So we're kind of working in reverse. So up here we started with orange and yellow and then pinks and blues. Down here we started with the blues to the purple. Now we're going into the pinks and then a little orange, and we're kind of shrinking inward. Okay, so go ahead and get your pink if you have your pink still. I don't, so I have to make pink by adding white and red. White is your base color, so you take a big scoop of white, move it to the side. I have a little blue there, no big deal. Okay, that's okay, it's just a little bit. I don't care about that. I'm gonna add red into it. Mix that around. I want it a little brighter, so more red. I know I'm running out of paint on my palette too. I'm sure you are too. That's okay, we're almost done, believe it or not. Okay, so I'm making this really pretty pink. Now I don't want a lot of this color, so what you could do is wipe some of it off, or you can just be really gentle with the pressure, okay? More pressure means fatter lines, more paint. We don't really want that. We want it to stay kind of thinned out a little bit and just gently streak it in. So I'm going to start to the right of the sun and streak in horizontal just a little, just sort of grazing the canvas, okay? Doing little horizontal streaks, gentle grazing of the canvas. Not a lot of pressure. I'm going to drag out the lines. Now I'm going to make them a little irregular, so they're smaller back here. I'm going to make them a little bit bigger out here, a little bit bigger right here, right through here. See, I'm sort of changing my angle now a little bit. The closer you get to this wave, you want to change your angle just a little. Then I'm going to start streaking it down here a little, not too much, just a little. So maybe a smidge on this wave, not a lot. Okay, then I'm going to start streaking it down a little into this wave here next to that dark color. And then let's start streaking some into the wet sand. Then make sure you clean your brush. Now we're going to go into orange. So if you have your darker orange color, that's the color we want. If you need to make more, go ahead and make more. So I'm going to take red and yellow. Okay, so now we have the orange color. We're gonna layer this in a little bit more. Okay, so we're gonna kind of start bringing it in so we can put the orange on both sides. So we could start on the right side, and well, we could start on the left side here. So I'm gonna start streaking in. Bringing it kind of close to the sun now. Filling in a lot of this white. Streak it in on the right side. We're bringing in that white. We're making that white much smaller now. Don't forget to start streaking down here in your waves, 2 waves, your wet sand. Trying to follow the angles that we've already established here. Bring it down, touches the pink. Go into this wave a little. Really start filling it in. And if you'd like to, you could do a little down here. Just a little streak down in here. And then we can go into that very soft orange color that's almost yellow but not quite. And start bringing that in. And go ahead and just sort of fill in the rest of your white with this color. Okay, we will add a reflection of that sun once this dries a little. Now, I think we should cover this area up with a little bit more of a purpley color. I was debating on whether or not that should be a light color or a purpley color. So let's make it a purpley color. So clean your brush off and get back into that light purple color if you have it. I don't, so I'm just gonna add a touch of blue into the pink that I already have. Clean off your brush, touch of blue into this pink here. Little like that. I'm just going to fill this in. I think that makes more sense. That looks better. So now we're going to switch to the little brush here in the second. We are basically done with Mr. Big Brush. How do you guys feel? Do you feel okay? Do you like your paintings? Do you hate them? Hopefully you don't hate them. But if you don't like them, remember that there's usually a holiday nearby, right? For right now, it's Father's Day. These make a great gift. So that's all I'm saying. You can gift these to somebody. I'm gonna just clean off my brush a little here. Okay, now clean off your brush and set it aside because we're not really gonna use it anymore. Let's do the highlights from the sun. So let's take our little brush, get it wet, tap it off, go straight into white. We're gonna streak in a little bit of white now. Okay, I'm going to start right at that horizon line, and I'm definitely not going to go any farther than the width of the sun, okay? So I'm actually going to go a little bit smaller than the sun. Not a lot of pressure here. Little tiny brush, little tiny streaks. and gently graze over the painting. Not a lot, okay? We want the paint to break and we want to see the colors underneath. And if you want a thinner line, all you have to do is spin your brush. So see, I'm spinning it, spin, 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 and that creates a nice sharp little point. And then again, using almost no pressure and painting with the tip of your brush, going back and forth, we're gonna streak in a little bit of white, and we're gonna kind of maintain the same width all the way down. Okay, and just follow the angles that we've already established. So once you start getting here, it can go at a different angle, just a little. It starts up again right here. So still trying to work my way down, but follow the angles. Go into this wave. And go a little down here. Don't come too much into the wet sand, just a little. Just like that. Beautiful. Now what we need to do is add that really, really dark blue back in so that it looks like these waves are crashing, because we kind of lost their shape a little. That's okay. So go back into that really, really dark blue with your little brush. Water it down just a little so that it flows. Do the little spinny trick if you have to. We're going to start adding in some of these waves. So following the same lines, I'm just going to take my little brush, drag it out, make it a little bit bigger in some areas. Apply more pressure, and then thin them out again. Just follow that shape. Okay, same on this side over here, a little bit bigger, just a little fatter, some more pressure, have it thin out a little. Just like that. Come down here, bring this wave back out, so thin, more pressure, a little thinner here. Have them thin out in the middle, just a little. They don't need to totally connect, okay? Make it a little bigger on the right, because it's coming towards us. We're sort of standing right here. So these waves are going to be a little bit bigger, like that. Same down here, a little bit bigger. We can add a little wave here too if you'd like, just something a little darker here. That's an option. Okay, we're almost done. How do you feel? Feel okay? So we need to put the island in along with the palm trees, and then detailing would be just a little bit of white along some of these waves. Okay, you can add a few strokes down here too of color if you'd like. But that's pretty much it. Let's put an island in. This island's going to start at the left and come almost to the sun. Not quite. Maybe about a ½ inch away from the sun. Okay, and I'm also going to make sure that when we put the island in, it's kind of larger on the left and it tapers down towards the sun, right? So I'm going to take my little brush and go straight into black. I'm going to figure out where I want the bottom of my island, so maybe 1.5 inches down from the horizon line, 1 inch, something like that. Put a little line, and then I want it to come out to about here, so I'll put a little dot. Now see how I left 1/4 inch down from that horizon line? Leave that alone because the island is going to taper out a little bit, so it'll be like this. Okay, loading up my paintbrush with black again. I'm just going to sort of connect this line here and make the island come up and down a little, up and down, like that. Now fill it in black. You can use the big brush if you want to fill it in black. That takes less time, or just stick to this little brush, that's fine. Just like that. Okay, a little bumpy. Make your islands a little bumpy. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that your paintbrush is nice and pointed. So remember, clean it off. You can actually wipe it off on your towel and spin it. Remember the spinny trick? Do the spinny trick. Get that nice sharp point. And then get paint just on the tip of your brush. Not a lot. You really don't need a lot, trust me, okay? What we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of plants down here by doing little brush strokes that go up. Little tiny brush strokes that go up. Start in the island and push up. And these are tiny. These are like 1/8 or less. Okay, we're just giving the island a little bit of texture. This island's kind of far away. It's not close. Okay, you can add a little bit bigger one here. And just kind of do that with the top of your island. Okay, you can add some bigger brush strokes in there if you want a bigger plant. That's okay. Maybe right here. Just like that. Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and put our palm trees in. Clean off your brush. All right, get it nice and wet. Get it nice and wet. And then we're gonna thin out our black just a little, not a lot, okay? Just a few drops of water into the black. And spin it around to get that nice sharp point. We're gonna drop the trunks in first and then do the palm fronds after. And then touch up the water and you're done. So let's put a few trees in here. Let's do maybe a couple bigger ones and a couple smaller ones. Let's have a bigger one. Let's put the really big one in first, okay? It's gonna start on the left-hand side here, almost off the canvas, and go up well into the sky, maybe about right there. Wherever you pick, just drop your line. Not a lot of pressure, okay? We wanna keep it thin. Remember, more pressure means a fatter line, okay? And palm trees are very thin. They have very thin trunks. They're not much bigger than that, okay? I'll do it one more time just to fatten it up slightly, just a little bit. Be very gentle, and don't forget to rotate your canvas if you have to. All right, so that's gonna be a palm tree. Let's do it one more time. Let's put another tree in there. I'm gonna have this tree kind of starting right here, I think, and curving up a little, but it's gonna be much lower than this one. I'm just gonna pick a spot and commit. You're married to it, that's it. Forever and always, right there, okay? And then I'm gonna fatten it up just a smidge. Not a lot of pressure. And then let's put a couple teeny tiny ones in the back. So remember, sharpen your brush because this is going to be even smaller. Take a little bit of paint right on the tip. Right on the tip. Tiny, tiny bit of paint. Not a lot, okay? I'm going to have this palm tree farther away. It'll start maybe right here and go down. Just like that. And I'll have another one maybe right here, kind of close to this tree. Right there. Those are tiny palm trees. Now let's work on the fronds. The way I like to explain this is that the centers kind of look like fireworks exploding. And the centers are actually where we ended the trunks. Okay? So you're not going to start up here and add fronds. You're going to start right here where it ended. And we're just going to make little lines about 1 to 2 inches out. So they come from the center outward, kind of curving on which side they're on. So if it's right, it curves to the right. If it's on the left side, it curves down to the left. If it's more towards the top, it kind of comes straight out. So get a little bit of black on your brush, on the tip, keep it thin. Let's add some fronds. So let's do 3 on each side and then maybe 3 at the top. So I'll go 1, 2, 3. And then left side curves to the left. So 1, 2, 3. Just like that. And the top's going to be even smaller, I think. So 1, 2, straight, like that. Okay, let's do the same for the other ones. So spin your brush if you have to. Let's go 1, this one's bigger, 2, almost touches that tree, 3. Same on the left, 1, 2, 3. And we could put a couple more at the top, 1, 2, 3. Let's do the same down here, but remember these are tiny, so they're very tiny, right? Like 1/4 of an inch. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you can't really see the others. Maybe just one at the top. Same over here, but I'm going to have this one overlap a little. It's farther in the distance, but you can kind of see that it comes out here. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and do another at the top. Okay, we're not quite done because we need to add a little bit more to our fronds here. So make sure that your paintbrush has moisture on it. Take that moisture, add it into your black paint, thin it out just a little, and then do the spinny trick. And we're going to add lines to each side of those lines we just put in. Short little lines that come out and down. Okay, so I'm going to hold this up so you guys can see a little bit better. So I'm going to start in the center here and just put little lines on each side all the way down. So if it's on the right, these lines are going downward, but they're still following slight curve to the right. And then on the left side, they're doing the same thing, but again, slight down curve. Like this, all the way down. And you can kind of do that to each side. This side's going to be shorter. This side's going to be shorter. Just like that. Little tiny brush strokes pointing down. Just like that. Now it fills up in the middle here, so make it a little fuller here in the center. And they taper off. So the farther away they come from the center, the smaller the lines are and the more it tapers off in shape. So load up your brush again, do the spinny trick. Put those little lines in. All right, and there's one palm tree. So let's do the other ones. Now the ones in the background, you're not gonna have to worry about all of these little lines because they're already so small, especially this one. All you're gonna need to do is fatten it up just a little towards the center and just add a couple of lines here and there. Just a few little dabs. See, kind of looks like we spent time working on that. That's all that's needed. Same with this one. You could put a few lines, but not a lot. Just sort of fatten up the lines that are already there. Very tiny here. How are you doing? Do you need a break? Take a break if you have to. Pause the video. You can also slow this video down under settings. Totally fine if you have to do that. Okay. Okay, we got one more. Do the spinny trick. This one's a big tree, so you could definitely see the lines on this one. Don't be afraid that it's going to overlap this tree here. That's totally fine. Okay, put those lines in. Remember, it's fuller in the center. Reshape your brush if you have to. Sometimes the brush gets a little fat and you lose that nice sharp point. You need that nice sharp point. Take a minute and reshape. We are almost done. We just need to add a little bit of detail. There, look at those trees. Pretty cool, right? Super easy to do. Let's add a little bit of water, a little bit of white to our water, and then that's pretty much it. How you guys feeling? You feel okay? All right, so clean off your brush, get the black off. Go into pure white. You can add a drop of blue to it if you'd like, just a tiny bit. Make a really pale blue color. Or you could do pure white, it's up to you, but this is gonna be the waves, okay? We're gonna top off those waves. Do the spinny trick. Do the spinny trick, spin that brush, get a little tiny bit of paint right at the edge there, get a nice sharp point. Let's add a little bit of white around the island, just at the base. Very gentle, almost no pressure. This is the water line. Okay, just a little here and there. Leave a little bit of space, a little bit of gap. Okay, now let's start putting some of this color into the waves, at the top of the waves. Okay, so we're just gonna very gently slide our brush over the tops of the dark. Okay, and don't connect the whole thing. So have it break, have it come down, have it break, have it come down. Right, so have it break here, have it break there. They're not totally touching, it's not a solid line. Do the spinny trick again. Just like that. Do it again right here for this wave, so people know it's a wave. Be gentle, not a lot of pressure here. You can do it here, here. You can even add a little back here, just a little on that wave. Okay, and then a little down here. And then we can add a little bit of darkness around the island to bring in this yellow just a little bit, this orange. Pull it back. Let's pull that back. So let's get our dark blue again. Make your dark blue. Again, it's blue with a little tiny bit of black, or you could use really dark purple. It's up to you. Just a darker color. Okay, and let's just do little lines that start at the island that come out into the water just a little. Right, like a shadow. A little bit of a shadow here. Okay, we could streak it out a little bit more. Let's do pure blue now. Let's lighten it just a little. So pure blue. And just streak in a little pure blue, same area. Just sort of pull that out into the water. And we can even add a few out into the orange, just a little. Pull that out a little bit more. Just a tiny bit, okay? Tiny bit. Tiny bit is all you need, just like that. Now, if you want to add a little bit more color into your ocean, maybe it's not as strong as you'd like, you can go ahead and streak in another layer. Remember how I said sometimes the paints are not very opaque, meaning that their coverage is not good. So you want to just do it again, and it really helps. Really helps to brighten it and bring out the color. Okay. And if you're still having trouble, the trick is to add a drop of white to your color. You add a drop of white, not a lot, just a drop. It really helps to bring out that color. So I'm just streaking in this yellowy color, the light orange color that we made. Streak that in a little. And we're basically done. How do you feel? How'd you do? It wasn't that bad, right? I'm sure these look beautiful and I would really love to see them. I love seeing how these turn out when I teach. So let me know your thoughts and comments down below. And like I said, feel free to message me. It's okay to message me. I'm a human being. I'm just a human being. Okay? I will respond to your email the best that I can. There we go. So that is how you paint a beautiful little tropical sunset. So thanks everybody for watching and checking me out today. I really do hope you had a good time and that you learned something. And if you want to see more of these tutorials step by step, please let me know in the comments down below, and also like the video. That really obviously helps out the algorithm, helps out my channel. You get to see more of these and it lets me know to make more of them, right? So there you go. Thank you everybody for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. And again, these make a beautiful gift. I will link a frame down below that you can get off of Amazon. It's inexpensive, that fits it perfectly if you're doing a 12 by 16 or 11 by 14. And until next week, everybody, bye.